Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another Teacher Joseph podcast. Well, now that Easter has gone, the next big celebration in the UK will be May Day. That's the 1st of May. Now, it's very unclear why we celebrate this, and I do know that around the world, May Day is a day of workers, a day of unions, a day to celebrate work or to celebrate the working man. But I want to tell you a little bit about the history of this, because in the UK and in fact all over Europe, especially the northern parts, we used to have something called Maypole dancing. Now, it's been gone for well over 100 years in this country. I understand that they do still do it in Sweden as well as parts of Germany. It's believed to have started in Roman Britain around 2000 years ago, when soldiers celebrated the arrival of spring by dancing around decorated trees, thanking their goddess, Flora. These dancers used to tie ribbons to a tree and then dance around it. So there would be like, let's say, 10 ribbons hanging from a tree, and they would start to dance around it. It doesn't sound very exciting, does it? But I suppose in the days before the internet, we all did kind of strange things. I don't know about the other countries, but I can tell you the British May Day tradition of dancing around the maypole is around 600 years old. And it was an activity that brings communities together. Well, I say that, it obviously did work in the past, but it certainly doesn't now. Traditionally, the dancers would position themselves into pairs of boys and girls before beginning their routine. So all these ribbons would be different colors, and the dance creates a multicolored pattern which creeps steadily down the pole. Now, this is said to represent the lengthening of the days as summer approaches, but the significance of the pole isn't really known. Now, this clearly was a big deal here because many of our towns and villages still have streets called Maypole Street, which presumably is where the pole was kept or where they used to go dancing around it. My town had a Maypole Street up until around 1910. But I'm unclear on why that was changed. The street's still there, but it's not called Maypole Street anymore. Apparently, in a little place in Worcestershire, in the UK, they still have this dance around the pole. And I'm being very careful not to call it pole dancing, because that's something else and something we won't discuss. It's like an adult thing. The first recorded instance of a maypole dance was in the 14th century in Wales, and that tradition is thought to have come from Wales, spread to Scotland, and then all over the country. Due to the ever-changing religious doctrines of our kings and queens, the maypole was eventually seen as an anti-Christian symbol for a time, right up until the end of the 19th century, and it was often used to protest about things in the government or in the church. I know that the maypoles around here were used to protest against the Catholic Church. We do still have some maypoles around. The tallest one, as far as I know, is 86 feet. Now, I don't know what that is in your metric system, because as you know, here in the UK, we don't use it, but it does sound very tall, even in meters. Yes. So very interesting, very interesting. Bavaria in Germany, they still have the maypole and they have processions around it. But, I can't think of anything here which would bring people together. I don't think anything would. I mean, some of us go to watch the Pride parade, but we don't have anything. Whenever we try to organize any kind of event, about half the community would say, "Oh, I'm not going to that. I don't like the sound of that." So for us, it's just a lifestyle thing now. It doesn't really represent anything. Apparently, another thing they used to do, and still do in some parts of Germany, is unmarried men would put up a birch tree in front of the house of their sweethearts, decorated with paper and a red heart with the name of the woman inside it. The ladies would wake up to find the tree outside in the morning in May, and then everyone would try to climb to the top of the maypole. It just sounds crazy, doesn't it? As much as I love people in my life, I don't love them enough to carry a tree outside their house. Can you imagine? You wake up one morning and find this pole outside your house with a Skype English teacher standing at the bottom. I mean, there's no way I would be running up that. But this is a big thing in Germany and Austria. Presumably, it's young people who've managed to get off the net for a few minutes, I think. But very interesting, isn't it? This maypole. You can find all kinds of pictures on the internet. I just can't imagine my ancestors dancing around the pole. I mean, none of them were very happy at the best of times. So I can't imagine them having enough joy. Maybe if they were drunk, I suppose they might have done it, but I just can't picture it because it's not very exciting. You walk around the pole. If you're lucky, you'll get maybe a few steps before you have to turn around and go the other way. At the same time, protesting. Well, I'm sure they would have loved to do that. All very strange, isn't it? The Maypole. So that's some tradition for you there, the Maypole. There's a town near here called Maypole. So it obviously was a big thing at one point. But yeah, certainly not in my lifetime anyway. But if you are in Germany or in Scandinavia, I hope you enjoy it. It's only for a short time during May, so something to look forward to. That's it from me. See you. Bye.